This is the Pro Volleyball Federation on the ROKU Sports Channel here in Orlando, Florida. The San Diego Mojo have come across the country to try and be the team that finally dethrones the Valkyries, a Pro Volleyball Federation record 9-match winning streak. The first place Valks are 11-4. And welcome inside Edition Financial Arena here on the campus of UCF. AJ Cannell alongside the former Florida State All-American Madison Fitzpatrick. And just like I said, no one can take care of this Orlando team. How good has this team been?
This team is incredible, 9 in a row, and it's because they have depth in every position. The talent is elite in every position. They're first in almost every statistical category, offensively and behind the service line, so they're balanced and they're very dangerous across the board.
Well, San Diego, they can be dangerous as well, and Elise McGee has come into their lineup at right side, starting to play really well for the Mojo.
Elise McGee is just a rookie, but she hasn't been playing like it as of late. She was drafted in the 5th round by the Mojo, and she's made a big impact offensively. Coach Annie Park told me some people hit high and some people hit with power, but McGee does both at the same time, and that's what makes her dangerous. Watch her be super physical at the pin, coming off of a team-high 15 kills to look to lead tonight as the Mojo strives for the upset. For Orlando, Brittany Abercrombie has been breaking records ever since arriving in Orlando. The 6'3" lefty opposite is leading the league in kills with 264. She's got a high reach and all the range in the world, coming off of 19 kills and 18 digs, racking up double digits, and dominating defenses is simply the norm for Brittany Abercrombie.
Starting lineups are brought to you by Ren Athletics. For Orlando, Adora Nye, we are told after she missed their most recent match with illness, she is set to go if need be, but Lindsay Vanderweider remains in the lineup at outside hitter. The rest of the lineup is as planned for the Valkyries. And as for the Mojo, they've been switching back and forth at center. Sarah Sponsel has come in recently. We were told that Dayong Lee's been dealing with a little bit of an injury issue, but she is getting better. Kind of more of a load management situation with her at a later stage in the season. So Lee, their setter from South Korea, is back in the lineup. And besides that, it's exactly what you would expect with McGee starting for the second straight match for Lauren Page at right side. Well, what a run it's been for Taiba Hanif Park. Back in February, announced as one of the new assistant coaches on Eric Sullivan's staff for Team USA. Then earlier this week, announced as one of the newest United States Volleyball Hall of Fame inductees. What an exciting time for Taiba Hanif Park.
So well deserved. 2012 Olympic Games silver medalist, 2008 Olympic Games silver medalist, 2004 Olympic Games. She went to Long Beach. She was All-American, 1998 national champion. I mean, her resume is incredible. But beyond that, she's a wonderful person. She's a wonderful advocate for the sport.
And then Amy Pauley, who came to Orlando after most recently serving as an assistant coach on Brad Keller's staff at USC. Really impressive college resume as a coach for Amy Pauley. She was a libero back in the day for Alabama as a player. And she is leading the first place Valkyries on a, once again, record-setting winning streak in this league.
And she's the all-time dig record holder at Alabama. So a whole lot of success she had in her playing days as well.
Just about set to go here in Edition Financial Arena. Yes, on the campus of the University of Central Florida. The men's basketball team last night had a rare chance to upstage the Kansas Jayhawks in the Big 12 tournament. Came up just short in overtime. But in this Pro Volleyball Federation matchup, Janasia Moore will be the first server for San Diego. This is the third meeting of the season between these two teams and the 7th all-time. Orlando has taken 6 of the first 7 sets these teams have played this season. They're 2-0 this year, but all-time the series is tied at 3. And Moore gets it going with a service error. San Diego knows they're going to have to serve aggressively against Orlando.
You've got to win the serve pass game against Orlando because Orlando is so balanced and efficient when they are in system, so you have to put some pressure behind the service line.
as Dalkey loves to hit line when possible for San Diego.
Kendra Dalkey gets a ton of sets for the Mojo, and that results in top 6 in the league in points and 6th in the league in kills with 186. We're going to call her name a lot tonight.
And Abercrombie on the right side. There arguably hasn't been a better player in the league this year than Brittany Abercrombie.
And I asked Coach Taiba Hadith-Park, coach of the Mojo, what can you do to stop Brittany Abercrombie? She said, we have to block with the utmost level of discipline. Have a tight core, have to lock out, don't drift, because she's going to try and tool you. Just a filthy serve by Natalie Foster, who already owns the league record for single-season aces with 34. Hitman throws it to the floor there, and San Diego wins the point, but look out for Foster's serve. I mean, it's a hybrid. It's coming at such a high point. She contacts it so high. It's so difficult to pass. Really key to side out against her, and that combination play leads to a wide open lane for Schwann. Courtney Schwann has every tool in the game, and I like the aggression from her right out of the gates because her strength is those off-speed, really smart, crafty shots. So I like that she's establishing that swing. Tight pass, and with the back row setter, that's a point for Orlando. Taking a left side slip McGee. They're looking for some contact, but Valkyries take the point. 5-2 early lead for Orlando. The service pressure from the Valkyries is really good so far. They're targeting this left side of the court, Janasia Moore, and they're really pulling the offense out of rhythm. But they do so many things well, but they are #1 in the league in ace rate as Pittman sprays it long, and the Valkyries already on a run. San Diego is coming off hitting 0-4-2 as a team, so I think a key here today is they're going to need to get more positions scoring on offense. That starts with the ball control. That side out there, and the miss serve stops a 4-0 run. Pay attention to Brittany Abercrombie. She's in the back row right now, but the Orlando Valkyries like to run her on that D ball. They like to run her in the back row. And they can overload that side. And miss serve going back the other way. San Diego coming in 5-10. They played back-to-back matches against Grand Rapids and lost them both. So struggling a little bit right now, second to last in the PVF coming in. But they certainly have players that are capable of challenging this first-place Orlando team. Timeout on the floor. Franklin Sports is a proud partner of the Pro Volleyball Federation on the ROKU channel. Welcome back to beautiful Orlando. Another picture-perfect day earlier today. Setting the stage for this primetime match between San Diego and Orlando and the Pro Volleyball Federation. AJ Cannell alongside Madison Fitzpatrick is two players with supreme efforts for Orlando, both Schwann and Abercrombie, but Moore brings the hammer. Janasia Moore right there beat the block, and it's difficult to beat Kaz Brown. She moves really quick side to side, really fast laterally, but there, she wasn't there to close the block, and Janasia Moore took advantage of that open seam. Watch her drive it through that open gap in the block. Beautiful.
Pittman, who served now, drawing a little bit of attention there as well. That's a faster set to the outside, and Vanderweide, who played last year for San Diego. Back to Vanderweide, out of system, and she puts it down on the cross-court hit.
And that was a good swing placement by Lindsay Vanderweide. You got Reagan Pittman in the middle playing left back, usually a position that a libero will play, so she's a little deeper. She's not as comfortable in that left back position. It was an out-of-system set, but perfectly placed and executed.
Big block touch for the Valks. Abercrombie clips the net on the way to the floor.
Another strong aspect of the Valkyries game is their blocks and how they're able to slow down the opposing attack. They're getting really solid block touches, allowing their defense to recycle it up and feed that ball to Brittany Abercrombie.
Tip from Moore. Abercrombie really good defensively as well, but Veronica Stone was there to meet her former teammate Vanderweide.
If anyone can stop a run with the block, it is Veronica Stone, 4th in the league in blocks. Watch her track that ball, dive those arms into the open seam, and push those palms over the net.
Foster out of SMU. What a weapon she has been in all sorts of ways in year one for the Valkyries.
That was such a get for the Valkyries. She was a phenomenal college player, and her ceiling is so high. So for Coach Amy Polly to identify that and draft her, and then to see where she's come has been pretty impressive.
Yeah, even in the second round, it feels like Foster was a bit of a steal. The 14th overall pick. Good swing from Janasia Moore. San Diego really needs to find some pins to get going, and they're hopeful that Moore could be one of them.
Either Moore or Dalkey could go off at any point. They also need production out of their middle and their right sides.
Feeding Vanderweide once again, who last year, again, played for the Mojo. In fact, there was a match for the Mojo against Orlando. She had 30 kills and set the league record.
I called that match. She was unstoppable. No one could stop her. But you see how fast her arm swing is? That's a really difficult swing to block.
So it makes sense that after seeing that, Orlando brings her in this year. She's getting the chance the last couple of matches with Anai out to start. Now, we're told Anai is available tonight, but Amy Polly said she's just being careful at this stage of the season, trying to manage everyone from an injury perspective. Trying to be kind to their bodies here, so giving Vanderweide another start. Dalkey. Good reaction by Schwann, but then Moore digs, and Stone gets pushed away a little bit and is able to finish.
Good defense by Janasia Moore in that middle back position, and then I love that set to Stone. It's a gap set, it's moving the block left to right, kind of finding space to swing.
Veronica Stone out of Oregon, actually played for Taiba Penny Park.
Natalie Foster is insane. She's contacting this ball so high, swinging through it, identifying the hands of the block, weaving it in between two blockers, and creating angles for herself all at the same time.
Vanderweide getting down there, but unable to keep that one up, so Dalkey with the kill. But the Valks in control here in the first set.
Lindsay Vanderweide coming off of the game versus Columbus, had 15 kills, hit 308 and 11 digs. So really solid performance she's coming off of.
Roll shot. You said Schwann is creative.
That's her bread and butter right there. She sees the campfire. She's got really good vision. She actually plays a lot of beach volleyball in her off time, and so that also opens up your vision and allows you to just practice some crafty shots, and she's really good at it.
Pancake Abercrombie. And another strong swing from Courtney Schwann. And that's going to take this first set to another planned timeout. 16-8. The Valkyries doubling up the Mojo early on. A big lead for Orlando over San Diego, 16-8. Let's see where things stand overall in the Pro Volleyball Federation standings. And you're going to see Orlando at the top of the table right now. Omaha not far behind, but in a year where there's a lot of parity, look at the middle of the pack, teams trying to get inside the top 4 to make the postseason. Right now, Orlando and Omaha with some separation from the rest.
And so, you know, that has to make them feel comfortable, because you're right, it is anybody's game in that middle position. Anyone can sneak into that top 4. It can come down to 1 or 2 wins.
And the numbers during the 9-match winning streak for Orlando, they're first across the league across a wide variety of categories.
There's not many holes, there's not many weaknesses in this Orlando team. I mean, even their block defense tonight has been incredible. They're not blocking it straight down, but they're getting great block touches. So just, it's pretty seamless.
Oh, they find so many ways to create havoc. And a one-on-one block for Kaz Brown out of Kentucky, one of the 4 different All-Stars for Orlando. Pittman blocked again. Kaz Brown send it back.
Kaz Brown has such a high reach. She's also an emotional driver for this team. Love that smile from her, but watch her track the ball. Good eye sequence, gets up, presses those arms over the net, really invasive. There's no room to swing.
McGee had enough, said let's just tip one, get the ball over, and then good answer from Pittman. Great to see Reagan Pittman, who came off of injury recently, step up with a block right there after she got blocked a couple of times.
And when I asked Coach Hanif Park what impresses her about Reagan Pittman, she said she's huge. Her ability to read and move laterally is incredible, and we haven't seen the best of her yet.
Oh, aggressive set by Goodpart, who goes by Champu. Setter out of Thailand, puts it behind her for Brown once again. Back throw swing from Dalkey, and the Valks continue to run away with this first.
Looks like Dalkey did not get enough snap on that ball. You got to get on top of it, snap through it. She has so much power, but if she's contacting it a little too low, it's going to skyrocket out because of all that power.
Nice set by Daeyoung Lee out of South Korea in her first year in the Pro Volleyball Federation, 11th year as a pro.
Lee did a really good job here reversing the flow, creating a one-on-one situation for Elise McGee, who's coming off of 15 kills leading the team. She's a player that needs to heat up.
Abercrombie through the middle, and it's out. Bolt 6 with their 22 HD cameras automates the in-out calls and also expedites the replay reviews across the Pro Volleyball Federation.
And that is a rare miss from Brittany Abercrombie. She's 6th in the league in hitting efficiency, hitting .312 on the season, so not many errors.
And doesn't miss that one. And Amy Pauley said during the offseason, their #1 goal as a franchise was to find a dependable right side hitter. I think Abercrombie more than dependable.
I mean, the past 3 matches, Abercrombie has gone 24 kills, 25 kills, and 19 kills. If that's not dependable, I don't know what is.
To your point, though, about how you rarely see just a pure miss from her, something that Coach Pauley was looking for, another big swing out of the middle from Foster, was that she didn't want to see those peaks and valleys out of her right side hitter. She wanted someone that she knew she could rely upon. Again, they've gotten more than that. Abercrombie's been a star, but also really respecting her ability to keep on a level plane throughout the season.
Absolutely. She's got the mindset of a true pro, very consistent, and her relationship with Champu in that set is really solid.
Orlando hitting .429 in the first set. It's going to go down a little bit after Foster with the miss.
And if you're San Diego, you are looking to get into a rhythm. You're looking to apply some service pressure from the end line, get into a rhythm, carry some momentum into the next set.
Nice serve by McGee. And Abercrombie hits the back line.
Abercrombie's step close is really good. It's to the ball. She gets her feet there, and then she's got that hand contact and all the range in the world to just pinpoint where she wants to go. We're going to see her attack from every area of the court and to every area of the court. Right there attacking in between zones 6 and 5.
It's going to be Sarah Sponsel coming in, and Lauren Page as well, so it dumps up for San Diego. Sponsel's gotten some starts recently, with Leah a little bit banged up. Now using the back row setter. And on the slide attempt, Veronica Stone with the hitting error. And Orlando just 2 points away, a double-figure lead. Well, they've won 6 sets this year in 2 wins, obviously, against San Diego. And in 4 of those 6 sets, Orlando has won by 7 or more points. They have dominated the season series so far. Nice play, run to Dalkey right there, and really finds that angle nicely out of the back row.
And that was a good setting decision from Sarah Sponsel. If you don't know Sarah Sponsel's name, have you been watching volleyball in the past couple years? She is incredible. She went to the Olympics. She was part of the youngest team to ever represent USA in beach volleyball at the 2021 Tokyo Olympics. If you can't tell, I'm a Sarah Sponsel fan, but she is so athletic and such a true leader out there. And what she's been able to do on and off this hard court is very impressive.
Well, yeah, you should be, because you know what it's like, how different indoor and the beach can be, and the variety of tools in the bag that you need to succeed at both. Sponsel has found a way.
Absolutely, it's a completely different game. So to go from being that elite beach player to then a libero to now a setter, her athleticism is just through the roof.
Yeah. Absolutely, no doubt. Makes a good set right there on a tight pass. And trying to give themselves, like you said, a little bit of something going into the second set.
Yeah, I definitely believe you can take momentum from one set to the next, at least gain some rhythm, gain some chemistry from your setters to your hitters. A nice high swing by Dalkey.
Shampoo sets Abercrombie. Pittman gets there off the block touch. Dalkey. It rattles around over to Schwann for the attack, and that's a miss. So, okay, San Diego finishing strong here in the first set. But Foster puts an end to it.
Nice wrist away swing by Foster. Shampoo sets her up, quick set right in front. Foster sees Reagan Pittman right in front of her, wrist away, beautiful swing, and Valkyries go up 1-0.
Well, the Valkyries look like the first place Valkyries, which they are in that first set with a 25-17 set 1 win over the San Diego Mojo. First set stats are brought to you by FICO. Pro Volleyball Federation is proud to partner with FICO to champion financial literacy. PVF athletes will engage with the league and its communities to provide financial education. The hitting efficiency disparity was certainly there, and yeah, that kind of tells the story, really, that hitting efficiency stat in the first set.
And it's difficult to beat a team that is taking care of the ball at that high of a clip. Their defense and their passing is doing a really good job of keeping them in system. And Shampoo is running a very balanced offense. 4 players have 3 kills or more for the Valkyries, so they're spreading out the ball really well, and that's contributing to that efficiency.
She's an experienced setter who I think has gotten better as the year has gone along, as she's gotten more comfortable with her artillery. Andy Pauly commented that she probably never had 4 different players who are 6'4" middles that she's working with throughout the season. You look at their entire roster, they have all that height. Even Michaela White, who's on the practice squad right now at middle. Is a free ball. It was dug by Dalkey. but double contact is called.
And we see Taiba Hanif Park putting in other players, trying to put some new faces on the board, some fresh legs, mix up the matchups a little bit.
They've been doing that a lot lately. Maya Tabron is in, Lauren Page is in the front right now, takes a huge rip at one, and Lauren Page, who has been a starter off and on this season, had been replaced by McGee recently, is now right back in there.
Lauren Page has such a high vertical. Watch that nice long approach, takes her time, identifies the hands of the block, wrist away. Solid swing by her. They need production out of her.
They cross her and Pittman there and have her swing middle. Pittman's gonna set this. With some confidence there, the back set from the middle. Again, Page going on that X play and punishing for San Diego.
And sometimes it just takes putting in different energy, putting in new players. Lauren Page is fired up. Coach Taiba Hanif Park said she told her, put your trust in me, put your faith in me. I will score points for you. And that's what she's doing so far in this set.
Giving them a different look, having a right side hitter who, as you mentioned, is a different person in the match, also swinging multiple times from the middle within the last few points. Get off to a 4-1 start. Diving play by Lee, the setter, has the dig. And a layout on the other side by Yosia, or that was Murphy. They used two liberos, Orlando. And Abercrombie puts it away.
What a set, perfectly to Brittany Abercrombie. She's a lefty, so she doesn't have to let that ball cross over her shoulder to her right. She cuts it off really quickly, and then she's got a nice high snap. She's swinging over Maya Tabron.
Now the best server in the PVF. Oh my goodness. That is just something to watch when you see it in person.
We've got to get a clock on that. It is coming so fast. And coach said she just knows where to hit it. She's not figuring out where she needs to contact that ball. She knows what works, and she can do it pretty consistently.
I don't think television really does that justice.
Agreed.
Like, I'm just seeing it now and thinking, man, that is something different. Big swing there from Kendra Dalkey.
Yeah, we asked Coach Amy Pauley about that serve, and she said she knows what works. She's got a high reach with long arms, and she's registered 3 aces in each of the last 3 games. That's a whole lot of aces consistently.
This serve reminds her a little bit with that high reach of Dana Repke from Wisconsin back in the day, as Veronica Stone makes it 6-3 San Diego in the second set.
That set's coming pretty fast. The first one to Veronica Stone on that gap set was a little too low, but nice adjustment by Lee, raising that gap set. And then Veronica Stone really sped up her approach to get on top of the ball.
Big swing from Schwann using the block, powering that right through the block.
Courtney Schwann is top 10 in the league in digs with 164, and I've said this time and time again, Courtney Schwann needs to be on the court. Her ball control, how clean she contacts the ball, how often she keeps them in system, and then when she's offensive productioning like she is, she's unstoppable.
Abercrombie using that reach in a different way. On the slide, that's Stone's specialty. Good hitter coverage from the setter Lee. Now Tabron out of SMU, off the block, across and out. And the Mojo, a different complexion here in the second set.
The Mojo is doing a good job at tooling the block. Maya Tabron going to the inside of Cass Brown's left hand, swiping it off that left hand.
Foster played together this past season at SMU. Foster and Tabron played together. Hitting error takes it to a timeout. 8-4 Mojo in the second set. San Diego is in front, looking to even this match back up with a timeout on the court. The Mojo have put some different players in, like the results so far in set 2. weeks ago, Brittany Abercrombie from Orlando was Player of the Week, but this past award went to Emily Londot, another right side hitter, franchise 3-set record for Omaha.
Yeah, and that 3-setter, she had 15 kills, hit 370, only committed 1 error. She's got a whole lot of power. She's just a rookie. She was drafted 10th overall, but she's playing with a ton of aggression, a ton of firepower, a lot of energy, and she's a huge aspect of this Omaha Supernovas team, who's currently 2nd in the standings.
Just a half game and no games in the loss column behind Orlando for first place in the PVF. Ace serve, Tabron.
In this second set, this is exactly what Coach Taya Park wanted to see out of her team. This was a wonderful response. They're hitting 500, they're serving more aggressively, and they're controlling their first ball contact.
Tabron played 4 years for Colorado, then 1 with SMU. Difficult play. Tabron comes in, earns a dig. That hit the antenna on Stone's swing. So a side out for the bounce.
The reason that slide attack, sometimes you get more errors than you would running in front of the setter, is because there's many aspects and many components that have to go right. You have to cut it off at the right time. It has to be the right height. You're going off of 1 foot. So it's just a little bit more difficult of a set.
Kaz Brown stunts the setter. She was ready for that second ball over attempt by Lee.
Kaz Brown made history this past week. She became the 2nd player in PVF history to record 100 blocks. She's huge up there, and she's been huge for 2 years in a row in the Pro Volleyball Federation.
Uchkova was the first one last year for Omaha to reach 100 blocks.
I'm not exactly sure what the discrepancy was, but the players weren't happy about some call.
Gotta get set to go quickly, and Vanderweide and Murphy nearly collide, but they still side out with Kaz Brown.
Coach Amy Pauley told us when Kaz Brown runs behind the setter, they're trying to get her to swing line more. She had a couple errors on that slide attack swinging line, but that one right there, that was really good. Nice and high over the block, a lot of control, and a lot of success found in that area when she gets it in.
Dalkey maybe looking for some hands, doesn't find anything. And Orlando back within 2 with Brown serving.
That was a perfect call. That was exactly what she was doing. She was trying to swing high off the top of the fingertips, grab some fingers on its way out.
Short serve, handled pretty easily there by Tabron, and turning it down the line, that's the specialty of Kendra Dalkey out of Arizona.
In this second set, Kendra Dalkey already has 4 kills. Good set by Lee. And then just enough space to open down the line for her to turn it.
Difficult set for Abercrombie to handle.
I think maybe that set was a little too close to the net. If you're attacking from the back row, you cannot jump with your foot over that 10-foot line. You have to jump behind it. And I don't think Brittany Abercrombie got a strong enough approach.
There's that special arm swing from Vanderweide.
That is insane. I hope that people at home watching this can tell just how fast and powerful that is. Little tempo set inside, one-on-one situation, and she just rips on it.
I'm not going to ask you to give me the sound effects that Amy Pauley provided for that swing earlier this morning, but it kind of deserves a sound effect. Rattles around, and Venegas puts it over. Shampoo to Vanderweide. Oh no, look out for Lindsay Vanderweide, the former member of the Mojo. Out of system, Vanderweide. Good second leap from Page. Dug by Yosia. Just out on that attempt from Shampoo.
That was so close. From our perspective, it almost looked like it was in. Good heads-up play, but thanks to both six, we can tell it is a couple inches out. I like that dig from Yosia, really fast. She's got those quick twitch moves. And coach told us about Yosia. She said, we don't get high and we don't get low as a team, so we go with Nani out there so she can come up with big digs, go the huddle, and hype up the team.
But now to receive serve, Georgia Murphy comes back in at libero. Explain what their setup is with the multiple libero look. At the tail end of this point on the over dig, Tabron puts it down.
So now in the sport of volleyball, you can use two liberos. So what they're doing here is Georgia Murphy is serving as their serve-receive libero. She is their serve-receive libero. She comes in to pass. She stabilizes that serve-receive line. And then they put Nani Yosia in to play defense because she makes a whole lot of digs. She brings the energy. So these two liberos balance each other out really well, and it's kind of like you're using the strengths of both of them to the advantage of your team.
Foster tips it down.
Nice off speed by Natalie Foster. Coming in with the quick right in front of her setter. It's the one. She sees that both of the blocks are up. They are up and they are pressed. So Natalie Foster, with the maturity that she has as an attacker, knows she can go up and just right over them. A lot of the times that area of the court is open.
Through the block and out for Maya Tabron. Checking in once again in this set. She came in for the Mojo.
A lot of the times the server will target the passer that's pulling back, the one that is going up to attack, a front row attacker that's pulling back to pass. They are going to get targeted because they want to take them out of offense. But Maya Tabron said no.
Raynell Jones has entered the match. She serves. Tabron one-on-one. Abercrombie was ready. And a buzzer sound, so that's going to be a challenge. Challenge midpoint.
Is challenging a center line fault.
Center line fault heard there. So challenge by San Diego. Means that if, regardless of whether that block had been a stuff block or what had happened there, if you stop in the middle of the point and you challenge and you lose that challenge, the other team is going to win that point automatically. It's a very well-timed challenge from Taiba and Eve Park, with Orlando clearly about to win that point, as it turned out.
And a block like that can be absolutely deflating. It's a one-on-one situation, but Brittany Abercrombie read it beautifully, dove those arms into the angle, shut it down completely. It's almost like 2 points because you get the momentum, you get the energy that comes with that. So yeah, that was a good timed challenge, and you have to challenge within a certain number of seconds or you're not allowed to at all.
So again, they're looking at a center line fault, which would be someone's foot would have to be entirely across in order for that to be called. And the way this works is we'll get you the look once Bolt 6 has the results of the review. So you're gonna see the look that we need. We're just waiting for the decision to come in.
Amy Polly is saying, come on, hurry it up, everyone. Waiting patiently.
And normally the reviews, they take pride in the reviews going very quickly, but sometimes it's just difficult to tell.
So the challenge will be accepted. They are rewarded. San Diego gets that point, and San Diego lengthens their lead, and it causes Orlando to call a timeout.
Okay, center line fault called. Madison explained it. 16 points equals timeout. We're back momentarily from Orlando. Hey, just to clean that up, Madison, I was curious about that ruling that we saw, the replay review going into the timeout, where it really it didn't seem to be as much about the feet, because the player was on the ground. Tell me about that rule and how that is adjudicated, if you could.
Yeah, so they do it for the safety of the players. It's just the line underneath the net. If you have a part of your body that goes completely over it, you're allowed to step on it. Sometimes you come in contact with it, but there comes to a point if you have something that's completely over it. So that knee was completely over the line. They're going to call it.
Okay. And they're able to serve Orlando out of system. Adora Anai has come into the match, and she's trying to get back going again. Missed the previous match due to illness, and did not start today.
Raynell Jones behind the service line, putting a whole lot of pressure on the serve receive line.
Does it again. Pass to attack for Anai. Anai into the block, and that lands out. So a kill for Adora Anai, out of the University of Utah, PVF All-Star this year.
Fun fact about Adora Anai against the San Diego Mojo. The last time these two teams played, yes, it was January 16th, but she recorded 27 kills on a .431 hitting efficiency.
And she's gone over 400 each time this year that they have played San Diego. Veronica Stone, easy money. Second set really is flipped from where that first set was.
And yeah, and San Diego is winning the serve pass game. They are getting Orlando out of system, and when Orlando is off the net, they're not able to run that top offense in the league.
Yeah, another effective serve. High swing from Anai, no contact.
It is difficult to come off the bench. You're cold, you're coming in, and she's taken a couple big rips.
Challenge. Timeout from Amy Pauley.
It makes the same noise in the arena.
she tapped it angrily. You go over, you tap the tablet over there. I thought maybe she was just challenging the block touch or something, but no, timeout is called. Really the same deal either way. You're stopping play here and trying to change the momentum, but San Diego looking good here in the second set.
They really are. They have turned it around. They're taking care of the ball. They're doing well in serve receive, pushing their passes to the net. Lee is having to scramble around less and less as they get comfortable. The setter-hitter connections have really amped up. And a lot of it, too, is the Valkyries have been making a lot of errors. They've had 6 errors on the attack, which is uncharacteristic of them. And their passes are coming off the net. They're not as efficient on offense because of it. So really, it's just been the momentum that the San Diego has come out with that's lengthened this lead all the way to 19-12. And San Diego only has 2 hitting errors. They had a bunch in that first set, so they've cleaned up their attacking errors as well.
That landed out, so Anai's had a couple of kills in a similar fashion.
One of the things that Adora Anai does well is she makes it look easy. She's so casual, great tool off the block, so she's swinging through the ball and down off of the outside hand of the blocker.
Also a very reliable passer when she's in the lineup. So an all-around player. Yosia scoops it up. Venegas on the other side. Tabron shoves that one down.
San Diego is doing a great job at slowing down Brittany Abercrombie, which is a key for this matchup. If you're going to take down the Valkyries, you've got to slow down Brittany. She only has 2 kills, hitting 0 right now in this set. Let me clarify.
Oh, we nearly had a libero kill, but instead Murphy was able to pick it up. Anai off the tape and out.
it's just been the unforced errors on Orlando's side as of late. That's their 7th hitting error. They're hitting 100. Usually their hitting efficiency is a lot higher than that, whereas San Diego's taking care of the ball when they get it.
It's a 9-3 extended run. Well, they bring Dalkey inside. Nice scoop up by Murphy. Cross court. An eye dug by Venegas. And a hitting error ends that entertaining point here in Orlando.
Both liberos just showed off in that play. Georgia Murphy, with no one up blocking, crashed into the pocket, dug that ball up so well. And then Venegas with the diving play. And a pretty solid pass at that. Good location from her.
Vanderwide, I think, taking credit for that one, was right next to Brown for the block.
We were talking to Coach Amy Polly about Vanderwide, and she also said players want to play with her. She brings a lot of energy. She's a really selfless player, and she cheers on her teammates, which I love that about her.
Good dig. Lee, Dalkey, block got there. Right back to Dalkey. Vanderwide. So much after these outsides during these extended rallies, and Dalkey has the answer in the end.
San Diego Mojo is leading the league in digs per set, and they had a whole lot of digs in that play. Beautiful, keeping the play alive. Nice set by Veronica Stone, stepping in there, bump setting all the way out to Dalkey, who's really heating up.
Set up by Brown for Vanderwide. Dalkey has to try and do something unorthodox there in a tight set, and a hitting error.
And that's exactly what you have to do. When the set is coming tight, the block is up, pressed, and set, you got to try to tip it off of the outstretched arms of the block, tool the block in some way with that tip.
Dalkey, coming into this match, had hit under her season average in 6 straight matches, but today is in the high 3s and has 9 kills. Raynell Jones announcing her presence.
And that's what Coach Hanif Park said that her team needs to do when blocking. Brittany Abercrombie, be strong, really use your core, straight up, straight down, know your placement, let defense play around you, and that was Raynell Jones.
Oh, actually, it looked like on the replay, I was wrong there. Dalkey got that one. Dalkey with the swing, and Kendra Dalkey is having a pretty good second set.
She is on, and when she's on, she has all of the range in the world. She can hit down the line with a lot of efficiency, and what's interesting about this is that Champu is in the front row. She's in right front, so Kendra Dalkey is able to swing up and over her. She likes that matchup, most likely.
This has been a total flipping of the script. In the second set, Raynell Jones has played a big part in it, and San Diego takes set 2 by nearly the exact score. In fact, by 1 more point than Orlando took set 1. It was Orlando 25-17 in the first set. First place Valkyries thought they might get to run away with it, but no. The Mojo, coming all the way across the country, showed up in a big way in the second set. They made some personnel changes with Raynell Jones coming in, Maya Tabron entering the match, Lauren Page as well, but Kendra Dalkey was absolutely essential. She's standing by with Madison.
All right, Kendra, you fall in the first set. You completely turn it around in the second set. What was the biggest difference in set 1 and set 2?
Yeah, I think it was just finding our rhythm, going back to what we have been practicing, what we know, and it worked out for us. I think just, finding our grit against a really good team.
After this, what's the energy like in the locker room? What's the message in the locker room to try and take this momentum to the next set?
I think just the belief that we can take it, and I think that's the biggest thing. Looking to each other, knowing that we can lean on each other in the tough moments, and just going to work and finishing out with a win.
Thank you so much. Good luck the rest of the game.
All right, Madison, thank you. And 1-1 is the score through the first couple of sets. Dalkey had 6 kills in the most recent set. And we'll see who has the next counterpunch here in Edition Financial Arena in Orlando. The San Diego Mojo looking for the surprise victory at Orlando. The Valkyries in first place with a league record 9-match winning streak. The first set looked like you would expect. The second set did not. And Kendra Dalkey with 11 kills so far through just 2 sets, 5 digs as well. She's been looking good.
She's been looking really good. And here's a funny thing that Coach Amy Pauly told us. She said this San Diego Mojo team is underrated. They're relentless. They will swing and swing and swing, and they do not stop. And Kendra Dalkey is the perfect example of that quote. She's ripping it left and right. I don't know if she's done any tips or roll shots. She is bringing power to this team and willing them to take that second set.
We've seen power going back and forth across the net with Lindsay Vanderwaide taking some massive swings on the other side against her former teammates, all tied up at 1-2. And our stats through 2 sets, they look very similar. Overall, the hitting percentages evening out. Orlando is really cratering from where they were through the first set, and all of a sudden, stats are even, the match is even.
The stats don't lie. The Orlando Valkyries took the first set, the Mojo took the second set. So now it's about which team can play to their potential in this third set. Which team can string together enough points and play like they did in the set that they won in order to take the match.
Orlando hit 357 in the first set. They hit 025 in the second set. What's the biggest thing that differentiated those 2 numbers?
They weren't controlling the first ball contact as well. They weren't putting themselves in the best position to score, and they also committed more errors than they usually do. But San Diego really amped up the service pressure. They brought a lot of pressure behind the service line, and the Valkyries weren't able to push their pass to the net and allow Shampoo to run that in-system, balanced, efficient offense like she usually does.
Maya Tabron opening serve, third set. Best 3 out of 5 here in Orlando. Who's gonna get this? Oh, nearly a disaster for San Diego, but still Orlando ahead of the point. Couple of close calls. Abercrombie. Somehow the Mojo win that point. Veronica Stone with the block. They were hanging on by a thread.
And Lee and Venegas both fall to their knees because they were not expecting to get that point. They almost let a free ball drop at the beginning of that rally. But no, finishing it with a nice, strong block. That's something the Mojo did well, too, in the second set, is slow down Abercrombie.
I don't know how San Diego won that point. Dalkey tight to the net, does a good job. Page hitting the deck. Back set Abercrombie targeting Page. Just puts her body in the way. Tabron, big swing behind the attack line for Maya Tabron.
This is a completely different Mojo team than we saw in that first set. Their defense, they're showing us why they're leading the league in digs per set. They're putting themselves in the right position. Lauren Page just crashing into that open seam, digging that ball, and then I love running the back row. They need to use that more, the Mojo does.
Hey, what happens when you travel from west to east? A little jet lag. getting up a little bit late for this one, weren't here in the first set. They woke up in the second set. Up 2-0 in the third. Abercrombie puts an end to it and earns the point.
And that's one of the skills of the game that Brittany Abercrombie is really good at. She's going to rip a bunch deep and show you that she's got that power. She's going to make you respect that deep swing. And then when you're on your heels, even if you're the libero, she's going to tip it right in front of you at the right time. She mixes that up really well.
Is it easier to tip like that when you have that length as well?
100%, because you're taking it high and you're coming down on it over the block.
Good read by Venegas. And Brown San Diego was in the net.
And it all starts with the serve. Natalie Foster creates so much point potential for her team with that serve.
Just smashing the ball. Even the missed serves look impressive. Again, there's so much more season to go, but Foster already has the league record, passing Betty De La Cruz's 32 aces from last year. She entered the match with 34, Foster, in aces on the year. To the outside, Schwann found the spot.
That's Courtney Schwann's bread and butter right over the block. Champu spreading out the offense nicely, but I will say Raynell Jones is doing a good job at playing disciplined blocking. She's waiting, reading, and then making her move.
Donkey tips, same result.
Dalkey says, if you can do it, I can do it too. Really smart shot. Watch her long approach coming in with a really strong approach. Makes the defense think that you're going to swing. She's coming in with a whole lot of momentum and then takes something off of it.
Too much there from Brittany Abercrombie, who earlier in the season had 30 kills in a match to tie the number from Vanderweide last year when she was wearing a San Diego jersey.
And this is what it looks like when the Orlando Valkyries are in system. They run a lot of routes. We've got the slide and the D-ball being run at the same time.
But you were saying they were getting taken out of system in that second set.
Exactly, and so then they weren't able to run all of their routes as effectively. And Coach Amy Pauley said, we emphasize passing because we run all of these routes that benefit when we're in system, like that slide and the D-ball that they just did.
Teams know their offense is so good, so they really try and serve aggressively at Orlando. What you have to try and do is an evening factor against the team that talented. Tabron calling for contact, didn't get it. And they're going to challenge.
A lot of the times the coach trusts that block touch. The coach trusts whenever the player looks at them and is pretty confident because they're there, they're in real time. Nice high swing by her. I wouldn't be surprised if it grabbed some fingertips, but she really made an effort there to contact that ball at its highest point and swing high.
Our R1, who you saw pictured, Zach McGright, the R2 this year in the new system in the PVF, is down at the scorer's table helping manage these replay situations and other administrative tasks, still helping at times to make calls during the play. Christian Kryzak is the R2. So again, both six will look at this and make the call, and then we will see the look. Now we're going to, was there a block touch? You know, I almost said it, but I didn't want to put my foot in my mouth. But I thought that turn back from Tabron was kind of more wishful thinking.
She wanted it, but she wasn't totally sure. That's
wanted it to be a touch, but it was not a touch. Close call. And you get 2 challenges per set. If you win a challenge, you keep it, and they reset no matter what at the beginning of the next set. So there's really no reason not to challenge a lot anytime it's borderline. And they side out the next point anyway. On the inside set to Vanderweide, another high swing that goes awry, so Jones will serve again. Raynell Jones out of Maryland. Finished her college career as the active Division I blocks leader. 2 there against Foster. Out of system, Abercrombie. Usually has the answers, a rare mistake from Brittany Abercrombie. And timeout on the floor. 3 straight points won by San Diego since that first set came to a close. The Mojo. They've had the Mojo. Franklin Sports is a proud partner of the Pro Volleyball Federation on the ROKU channel. And live from Orlando, Florida, here in Edition Arena, the Valkyries are the first place team in the second year of the Pro Volleyball Federation. Everyone aiming for that $1 million prize at the year's end. Valkyries in a good position to challenge for that prize, but tonight, San Diego Mojo, after dropping the first set, have come back, flipped the script.
And one of the reasons is right there on your screen. Raynell Jones, she provided a spark off the bench. 2 kills. You saw that 667 hitting efficiency, but she's been serving aggressive, and the Mojo has been getting a lot of points in the rotation where she's serving.
That is down. Talk about serving aggressive. Orlando thought maybe out, but it dropped in for Raynell Jones.
Orlando is playing a little more timid than we've seen in their past 9 match win streaks. Not taking advantage of those balls that look like they would be in.
Vanderwide once again going up against the Mojo, who she played for last season. Vanderwide originally out of Oregon. Vanderwide and Hannah Pukas, who's on IR right now, the setter for Orlando, played for Taiba Hanif Park at the University of Oregon. Ronica Stone, by the way, went to Oregon. Didn't play for Hanif Park. They missed each other by, I think, a year. And Stone, speaking of Stone, comes up with the kill.
And one of the advantages of Ronica Stone is that you have to respect her both ways. She's just as efficient behind the setter off 1 foot as she is in front.
San Diego head coach Taiba Hanif Park was a former Oregon assistant. Amy Pauley on the Orlando side came most recently from USC. Good save by Shampoo. Almost hit the floor again. It's been a taxing point on Shampoo, and San Diego takes the point.
San Diego is putting themselves in really good positions to play defense. They're being very aggressive on offense, and it's like Orlando is scrambling a little bit. Shampoo is running all over the court. It's like the Mojo just keeps putting pressure,
That's exactly what Amy Pauley warned about. I think they know Orlando that they probably have more firepower on offense, but she was saying that San Diego just has a knack for making you suffer a little bit out there, making life difficult on you. But Vanderwide has been a good outlet so far tonight, her 6th kill. Tabron punishes the ball. Maya Tabron.
Maya Tabron has so much power, and she brought it on that swing. Nice long approach by her. Good pass by Dalkey, pushing the pace a little bit, and then there's a gap in the block because of that tempo set. Natalie Foster not able to close.
Former SMU teammates and 2nd and 3rd round picks respectively, Foster and Tabron. Challenge Orlando.
I believe they're going to challenge that San Diego was in the net.
Orlando is challenging a net touch.
Did you see a net touch?
I saw the net moving, and so did the Valkyries players, and so that's why I immediately, even though she hit it out, they were saying,
it's a very journalistically responsible answer right there. Saying only what you're sure about, just saying the facts.
I put my foot in my mouth a few times, so I'm trying to learn my lesson just like you.
You saw the net move. You know what?
Yep.
We could see why you saw it move, because it's like they went in the net.
Yep, it looks like on the way down, her body is tagging that net, and the Valkyries desperately needed that point, honestly, because the Mojo was pulling ahead. They had all the momentum, and now the Valkyries are in a really solid rotation. Oh, never mind. Natalie Foster was going back to serve, but Kaz Brown said, no, not yet. And then she said, yes, you go back. So it is Natalie Foster back there to serve, which is a good rotation for the Valkyries if she can heat up.
Yeah, probably their best rotation for the best server in the league. key side out for San Diego, that being said.
Super key side out, completely agree. And what's impressive about that serve is usually a serve like that is so high risk, high reward, but the risk is not there that much because she's so consistent with it.
Schwan is just crafty. Puts Orlando ahead of the point. Shampoo. Oh, Brown. What a connection between Shampoo and Kaz Brown.
I'm really surprised that Kendra Dahlke didn't crash in on that. Shampoo and Kaz in that area of the court, that right side, but Dahlke was holding on Brittany Abercrombie. That's one of the advantages of having her in the front row. You have to respect that attack.
That's the battle, right? You have Abercrombie and Kaz Brown up there. Who do you cover at any given moment?
And she went with Brittany Abercrombie, and Kaz Brown said, thank you very much. The goal for a setter, one of the goals, is to put your hitters in the best position to score, and creating a one-on-one situation like that one allows your hitter to really just swing away, see the hands of the block, see the arms, and swing around.
Kaz Brown last year was the middle blocker of the year. Abercrombie leads the league in kills this year. Schwan beat the block. But good off-blocker defense right there. Brown on the slide.
Kaz Brown is kind of like Veronica Stone in the way that she is just as efficient behind the setter as she is in front, and she is working on swinging down the line. So right there you see her off of 1 foot. The blocker is moving, kind of fading away, not set, not pressed, and Kaz Brown beating the block there, was able to tool.
Courtney Schwan out of the University of Washington with the serve. Dahlke, wrist away swing. Normally Dahlke likes to go line more often, but she has all the shots when she needs to.
Yeah, but Coach Amy Pauley said that that's something that they're going to try to prepare for. They're going to protect their line. They want to block her line, force her to go to that 4-to-4 swing, but right there, all that power that she brought behind it, they couldn't control it.
No, and it doesn't matter where they force her to go. Equally good response from Abercrombie.
San Diego Mojo is relentless. They almost got that ball up with that second contact, but it was called a lift. But here comes Brittany Abercrombie out of middle back, moving her a little bit to the right, but still able to wrist away swing and get it down.
Seeing a lot of versatility tonight. Hitters shining from different locations on the court, playing defense too. Abercrombie. Tabron punches that one, and it's long. This now Tabron, remember, called for the block touch before and was wrong, and they're going to listen to her again. I think this time she might have been right.
Challenging block touch.
I think so too, and the coaching staff looked pretty confident this time around as well. With the game this tight, this back and forth, this is a huge point. Every point like this is huge.
It's huge, and if they lose the challenge, they got none left in the set as well. So it's huge on multiple levels. We've seen a look in the arena that seems to show there was a block touch. They're showing something on the Jumbotron. Again, both six makes these calls, and we will get the perfect look and show you the perfect look as they're finishing the call. We'll get some good closure. Yeah, looks like you see some movement. And so San Diego wins the challenge, reverses the result of the point, and holds on to their last challenge. And that takes us to a timeout in the third set. Can San Diego finish the job in the third? They have the lead over Orlando. So the new Hall of Famer, Taiba Hanif Park. Madison, you're liking the adjustments that she has put into play here the last couple of sets.
She has had some superb decision making, and this is one of the reasons why she is as successful of a coach as she is. She put in Lauren Page in the opposite position. She put in Maya Tabron in that outside position. She mixed around these players. She put in Raynell Jones, who's now back to serve. And these athletes with fresh legs have come in, provided a spark. It also speaks to the depth that she has on her team, but really good decisions. And now the Mojo, like you said, has got a whole lot of mojo and is taking care of it.
And Tabron's been a big reason as well.
It's Maya Tabron's 5th kill in this 3rd set alone, hitting around 400. Look at how far she transitions off the net, so then she can have that approach in front of her. She can reach high and swing high at that ball that's in front of her.
Foster hitting line, and San Diego pulling away. Timeout, Orlando at 18-11. I mean, it's the PVF. There is depth and talent all across the league. It is not a surprise for San Diego, even with the 5-10 record against the first place team in the league. Not a surprise to come in and be competitive. I'm a little surprised at the margin the last couple of sets.
That was exactly the point that I was about to bring up. The talent in PVF and the parity is incredible. The Mojo is coming off of back-to-back losses against the Rise. The Orlando is on a 9-match win streak, and for this to be so tightly contested just shows you it's anybody's game at anybody's time.
And what a middle blocking matchup this is as well. You look last year, number 1 and number 2 in hitting efficiency, Ronica Stone and Kaz Brown last season. You see their numbers right there from last year. Now Kaz Brown won middle blocker of the year. Ronica Stone, just like Brown, was also named to the all PVF team on the 2nd team. And so you add in Foster as well, who's having just a banner year as a rookie, and this is a great matchup in the middle.
And just to add to this awesome graphic, both Ronica Stone and Kaz Brown come into this matchup with 32 blocks, so they are tied for 4th with 32 blocks on the season. They both are also very comfortable in front of the setter and behind. It opens up opportunities for their outsides, and they're emotional leaders and drivers as well.
We're almost having a conversation now about Orlando in the same light that we were speaking about San Diego at the end of the first set. Point Abercrombie, like, can you just recapture a little bit of something to help create more momentum going forward? Because maybe what gets lost at this point, we were just talking about it during a timeout. Very end of the first set, blowout set, but San Diego won a couple of points late, gained some confidence, and that really did wonders for them in both the 2nd and now the 3rd. And Orlando flipped the momentum in the same way.
And it's difficult to flip the momentum when you're playing a team that's hitting around 600 in this set alone. San Diego, my stats haven't updated yet, but they were hitting 550 before that kill, so now they're hitting around 600. It is difficult to beat a team that is that efficient. So you got to get hands on those balls. You got to try to slow them down, and you got to get more digs.
Ronica Stone 6 for 12 tonight. Lauren Page into the net. Vanderwater had 1,000 career kills and digs at the University of Oregon. Float serve. Stone specializes in the slide. Nice set by Yosia, and Abercrombie benefits.
That's one of the roles of a libero. You come in, you take that second ball contact, you set your team up to score in an out-of-system situation. Beautiful set. She left it a little inside. Brittany Abercrombie could chase it, and Brittany Abercrombie loves swinging angle like that.
Remember, a rule that's not always talked about quite as much. The libero, in order to set the ball with their hands like that, has to be behind the attack line. So she was keeping her feet behind that line as well while making the set. Shampoo behind her for Abercrombie. Good hustle by San Diego. Tabron, yes.
I can't help but smile because I've been watching Venegas for the entirety of that play. She is a little Energizer bunny out there. She's making these crazy, awesome digs, these up. She's covering really well. And then before one of her teammates hit, she jumps up like a little starfish and swings hit. So really fun to watch. If you're watching this game, keep your eyes on Venegas a little bit.
Starfish jump is my pressing question after that analogy, but maybe we'll revisit that another time as Dalkey tipped it over.
Okay, so when I used to play club volleyball,
yes.
and other club volleyball, people probably know this,
yes.
As a punishment for some reason, your coach would make you jump up and put both your arms up in the air and both your legs out, kind of spread out, and you had to say, I'm a star.
Shape of
I'm
a starfish.
Yes.
I get it.
It was like a punishment for some reason.
Understood.
But she does that out there for fun.
That doesn't sound like a punishment. Yeah, it sounds fun.
It was fun.
Stone rejects Foster. And a timeout by Orlando.
Watch Stone track that ball, holding so well. Natalie Foster not contacting that ball as high as she usually does. She's swinging at it a little low, and Veronica Stone is all over it. San Diego Mojo is moving and grooving. It's interesting. When one aspect of their game started to heat up, they started to bring that service pressure. The rest of their game started to heat up as well, and now they're hitting 464 as a team, a couple blocks. They're digging incredibly, and they're covering really well.
3 straight points coming into the timeout. No timeouts left in the set for Orlando, a team that has had so much success throughout the balance of the season. 9-match winning streak. We really haven't seen them move around their lineup as much as other teams. So maybe we see something going forward in the fourth set or even late in this third set. But it's interesting here when you look at that because San Diego don't even blink about putting another player in. They've been doing that for a good part of the year with some of the ups and downs, but for Orlando, it's kind of a more sizable decision to try and tinker with the lineup when you're on a 9-match winning streak and you barely touch the lineup the entire time.
Exactly. They haven't been tested to where they kind of need to experiment, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see Nora Sis go in, Lydia Grote go in, maybe Abby Hansen. I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Amy Pauley starts to mix it up.
Yeah, Hansen came in their most recent match, a win over Columbus. It was her first appearance, taking over a month. Oh, Stone.
When I asked Coach Neve Park, what is it going to take to shut down Brittany Abercrombie or at least slow her down, she laughed and said, has anyone figured that out yet? But it seems like in these last couple of sets, they've been doing a good job at closing the block, being strong and disciplined up there.
Abercrombie has 11 kills and 9 digs, but hitting just 138, so they're containing her. Tabron is elevating her play. She's in double figures and hitting close to 300 on her 10th kill, a 5-0 run.
And 7 kills in this third set alone. She's really effective from the back row as well, which applies more pressure on the Valkyries defense.
Abercrombie covers her own. Tabron is there. Venegas lifts it. Tabron rolls it. Pancake, Murphy. Point San Diego. And a 10-point margin in the third.
And that's not an easy swing. That off-speed shot from that middle back position, but the Mojo's looking really good. The San Diego Mojo take set 3 and push it to 4, and a big reason why is Maya Tabron. She was the additional offensive production that the Mojo desperately needed, and they got it from her. In that third set alone, she had 8 kills, hit 429. They're running her out of the middle back. They're moving her around well. She's swinging high. She's swinging around. She's providing the pressure from the service line. You know, she's an experienced 6-rotation athlete at SMU, coming off a whole lot of success and playing well here tonight.
Mojo came into the night hitting just 180 as a team, second worst in the league ahead of only Columbus. They needed to find pin hitters who could terminate. Dalkey's been better tonight, and now Tabron owned that third set. To Dalkey. Start of the fourth set. Orlando took the first. It's been all San Diego since, and that point by Braun. Since the first set, talking about the second and the third set combined numbers, 50-31 point margin in favor of San Diego. They ended the third set with all the momentum on a 6-0 run. But Orlando tries to bring some energy, comes out with a point scored, and then a strong serve, and an opportunity for Schwann. Shoves it toward Page. Lee, aggressive set to the middle and Stone. Murphy locks it up for Abercrombie, will tip. Pancake Venegas. Murphy back sets on the bump for Schwann. What a play by Murphy with the assist.
That was absolutely beautiful. Really good ball control by Georgia Murphy. That's one of her strengths as well. And then beautiful placement. Courtney Schwann did a good job there at working in transition, getting off the net, allowing that full approach in front of her. Veronica Stone was up, but she was swinging high and over to that deep corner honeypot.
Nanai, normally a good server. Well, Murphy, one of 4 different Oregon Ducks in this matchup, not even counting, again, Taiba Hanif Park, who was an assistant coach there. So if it feels like I'm saying Oregon a lot, well, it's a lot of the players in the matchup are out of Oregon.
And how cool for them to be able to play each other, play on the same team, play against each other. So much fun.
And you got the Washington Husky and Schwann. Not a fan of this talking point quite as much. Dalkey and Lee had a missed connection. Yeah, it's funny how you can just tell the energy shift. We've only played 4 points in this set, but clearly now Orlando has come out with a chip on their shoulder.
And Coach Amy Pauley mixed it up a little bit. We see Abby Hansen in serving. She also played front row at the start of the set.
Now Dalkey, perfect dig by Schwann. Abercrombie scores.
It's a great shot by Brittany Abercrombie, coming in really strong. I said it before, but she mixes those shots in at the right time. And I know Jean-Pou is going to look to get her going early and often in this next set, because the Mojo did a good job of slowing her down. So I think establishing her, letting her get into a rhythm in this set is going to be really important.
Raynell Jones entered the match midway through. It's a kill for Jones.
That was also one of those really smart decisions by Coach Hanif Park. She's a really solid server as well, and as we see there, very efficient.
Not only was Jones great at Maryland, but she played in Italy in the Serie A 1 league, which is known as maybe the best league in the world, although PVF is getting there. It's catching up quickly.
PVF is hot on its heels.
Now the first ever non-outside hitter, speaking of other leagues, to win Athletes Unlimited. Abercrombie with the serve, but Page, that has been an effective play to say the least, bringing Page in from the middle.
I mean, incredible. Her vertical is one of the most impressive things I've seen. She's very comfortable in that middle position. They can move around the opposite, so she's very dynamic, but she sees the ball in the court so well in the middle.
That's a normal opposite hitter that they're swinging in through the middle on that pre-planned play. I think she's had at least 3 kills that way. Anai is rejected.
Raynell Jones tracking that ball so well. Maya Tabron does a good job as well at placing that block, putting that block in the right position. And then you see Lauren Page. Her job is to pull off and collect the tip.
Transition chance, Abercrombie. Block was there. Schwan leans into it, dug by Venegas. Donkey. Yeah, there was a touch. Not the prettiest looking swing, but it was effective for Kendra Donkey.
One of the common aspects of the Mojo's offense is that they're running through their back row a lot. Both Dalkey and Maya Tabron have scored a lot of points from that back row, whether the D ball, the C, or maybe the pipe. 15 kills for Dalkey, and that Abercrombie answer ends a 3-0 run. And speaking of back row attacks, Brittany Abercrombie is very efficient from that back row in that D ball. She sees the court really well, and she's able to swing in between the attackers with a whole lot of effectiveness.
Off the block, into the antenna, and Anai collects the kill.
Give that point to Georgia Murphy. She just did her job so well. Her job is to cover. Adora and I just looked at her and said, hey, thank you, because Adora and I was trapped. The block was there, so she swung as hard as she could to try to get that cover ball, and she did.
Murphy keeps it up. This is going to Jones. Brown gets a piece of it. Shampoo created trouble with that third touch. And a smart swing by Brown. Very resourceful point victory from Orlando.
And Brown cut that off at the perfect time, and that's one of the key aspects of running that slide effectively. She cut it off. The block was moving with her, fading away a little bit, but she took advantage off the outside arm of Maya Tabron.
Back in Orlando, the first place Valkyries trying to keep pace with Omaha coming into the night just a half game back for first place in the league. And right now, San Diego giving them a run for their money. Last year, Orlando finished in a tie for last at 8-16 in the regular season. Went on an 8-match losing streak from April 11th through May 9th. Just a different complexion of the roster this year for Orlando. Totally different team. Now some faces that have returned, but they've amplified around them as Brown a total roof.
That set is run inside on purpose. Lauren Page is going to her setter, running behind, but the block did a good job at setting up inside, tracking that ball and pushing their palms over the net.
Brown in the slide. She's trying to infuse Orlando with energy.
And that is what Kaz Brown is working on. That is what Coach Amy Pauley told us that Kaz Brown is getting better at, is driving it down the line on the slide. Very difficult to dig.
Page is trying to swipe that off the block. Buzzer sounds, challenge, another block touch challenge by San Diego.
San Diego is challenging for a block touch.
Once again, our R1 there, Zach McGright. Now, in and out is not challengeable in this league because Bolt 6 automates those calls and saves us all the time, every single point on any in-out call. That leaves the most common challenge as block touch. So you have matches where you will kind of see this all night. It's a very difficult call, and you have certain players that are going for it frequently, trying to find those fingertips. You see a lot of these challenges. But normally it takes not very much time for them to sort this out. And you see right here, quick decision, no block touch.
And it was interesting, during that challenge, I would call that a timeout. Coach Eve Park had time to really pour into her team. She was trying maybe to stop the momentum of the Valkyries, who were taking off there as well.
That's a good point. I said earlier, kind of in passing, like a challenge and a timeout almost do the same thing. Obviously a challenge, you have a chance to win back a point. It can be a different deal, but to your point, either way, it can swing momentum a little bit and almost serve as a timeout. They still have one left now to use at their disposal. Good cover by Shara Venegas, the libero for San Diego out of Puerto Rico. Anai, 4-4 swing, dug by Venegas. This has been her point. Back to Adora Anai, hit the antenna there, off the block.
Kaz Brown running the slide and pulling the blocker with them, or at least holding the block with her, is a huge advantage for this Valkyries team. And now Adora Anai is able to have those one-on-one situations or beat the block to that left side pin.
7-0 run for Orlando. Paige ends the run.
Lauren Page is so dynamic and athletic. She's just as confident running in front of the setter, that high ball, and then she's also confident running that red set behind the setter. Kind of high as well, but very athletic.
And if you're wondering where Lauren Page played, the answer is Oregon. It's been the most common answer so far tonight. She also professionally played last year in Portugal, previously played in France, Germany, Switzerland. Browns. You're seeing some dexterity during this point. Both offensively, defensively. On the back one, they can't cover that one, and Stone ends it with the kill.
And in that play, both of the setters made really good digs. Shampoo with the beautiful little pancake. But good defense, nice block touches by San Diego Mojo, and then just not able to keep that ball up to give themselves a chance as the Valkyries.
Side out there, the missed serve. By the way, Ronica Stone hitting .294 with 3 blocks, 7 kills. And as advertised, this matchup between Brown and Stone in the middle. Brown the serve. Tabron with some velo, but she's usually going for high hands and comes up empty there.
And she had a lot of success with the high hand swing, which means she's kind of getting underneath it. She's swinging high and trying to grab some fingertips. She had a lot of success in the second set, in the third set. I said it before, but she had a whole lot of kills in that third set. I believe it was 8.
That's that D attack. Now Tabron, oh, is that going out? Maybe. Brown touched it. Point San Diego.
And you can't really be mad at Brown for that. You know, she's not used to playing that left back role. She's a middle blocker. She is good at defense. I'm not knocking her on her defense, but sometimes the court awareness, when you're playing that left back position, you're more aware of what's in and what's out from where you are on the court. And so just that awareness is a little bit down when you're not used to it.
Well, in fairness, too, as a coach, you'd rather have players going for balls they shouldn't go for than vice versa. The alternative is scarier for a coach. And that's Abby Hansen checking into this set for Foster.
You brought up Abby Hansen when we were speaking with Coach earlier today, and Coach said, Abby Hansen, she's a fresh body, she's great in practice, and here's the thing about Abby Hansen, people aren't really scouting her because she's not a consistent starter, a consistent part of their lineup, so she's kind of like a dark horse for them, a secret weapon.
Yeah, I think that point was definitely made in comparison to Foster, who for the first time is having to learn how to adjust to the adjustments as a rookie who's being scouted heavily against at the pro level. Good play by Adora Anai, and, you know, kind of bouncing off what you said. You have Hansen coming in, not much of a book on her, and a timeout called. Orlando in control. Going into the break, doubling up San Diego in the fourth, looking to send this to the fifth. Hey, look at these splits in terms of the set margins. 8-point win Orlando, 9-point win San Diego, 10-point win San Diego in the third set, and then now 16-8 in the fourth set. Do you have any explanation, Madison, for how lopsided these sets have been, even though we seem likely to go to a fifth set? Both teams are going to win 2, it looks like.
Well, I was speaking to Katie George about this, who was a setter for Louisville, and now she works for ESPN. We were talking about it at the Nebraska Regional, and she said this is just the funniest part about volleyball. That is unexplainable, other than the fact that you can have momentum, and momentum goes both ways, and one team can catch on, but just the disparity in those numbers is what makes volleyball so funny and random at times.
And part of it's personnel. When you have a couple of teams that are changing personnel a little bit tonight, that could just change the dynamic in a major way in a smaller sample size. I love the way that Stone just hangs up there and then just pulls the trigger, really messes around with the timing of the block.
That's very true. She's a true athlete. She's got a lot of hang time, so the block is still moving, it's shifting, and then she can strike it a little late, right exactly when she wants to, and she cuts it off at the perfect time.
No touch. Point Mojo. And if you watch, you see Stone a lot. She's so good at the slide. That's not an accident. She's doing that with regularity and finding the knack for that timing. You see a couple of middles. We've talked about this matchup between Brown and Stone. They're both equally good on that slide.
Most definitely, and what that does is it makes the opposing middle blocker respect you, and it opens up better opportunities and situations for your outsides to score.
A little unlucky there off the net. And now this set's getting a little bit closer. Timeout. Orlando, 4 straight points by the Mojo. And that's, hey, we talked about it in the first set. Even if the Mojo don't come back and win this 4th set, they're giving themselves some life going into the 5th.
And that seems to be a true equation, because they really did gain momentum and then take it for the rest of those sets, taking those wins. Another thing that the Mojo is doing well right now in the last 4 points is they're serving aggressively, causing the overpass. They're taking care of it. Valkyries are on their heels a little bit. This was the perfect timeout call from Coach Amy Polly. She wants to stop this run here.
Upcoming matches on Roku are as follows. Columbus and Indy on the 20th. Orlando back on the Roku Sports Channel on the 21st against Atlanta. Columbus will be a featured team in the Roku Sports Channel coming up, playing Grand Rapids on March 28th. And then the Mojo versus the Atlanta Vibe on the 8th of April. Really proud to have Roku as our partner for the first time this season in year 2 of the PVF. Here on a Thursday night in beautiful Orlando, Florida. They got a good, healthy crowd here tonight in a match that looks like it's going 5. San Diego trying to give a last-ditch effort in the 4th, but that helps. The side out from Abercrombie.
Talk about the different routes that Orlando runs. I don't think I've ever seen them run Abercrombie through the middle on a set that is that high. And Coach Amy Polly was smiling afterwards. They schemed that up just to get out of that side out.
A totally different look, too, with a left-handed player hitting middle. Snatched by a Nye, but wide.
One of my favorite plays that Courtney Schwann does is she's playing front row. She'll come back to that area 4, dig that really hard 4-to-4 shot like it's nothing. Her ball control and her ability to clean up those plays is really impressive.
Not a great job by Murphy on that serve. Normally a very trusted receiver. Dalkey uses the block.
A little fight back from the Mojo, and sometimes why that happens, if you're the Valkyries and your hands aren't pointed, angled into the court, pushing back to area 6, the ball is able to be tooled off of your hands and out of bounds.
6-1 run. The lead peaked at 17-8 at one point, and a key missed serve at this juncture.
Yeah, that one hurts. The Mojo had the momentum. They were within a couple points, That one definitely stings a little bit, but you have to keep the service pressure up because you know you don't want the Valkyries to be in system.
Foster was taken out for Hansen, comes back into serve. Denied. Dalkey runs into the wall.
Brown can fire up her team, and I've seen her do it almost in every match with these blocks that go straight down. Good set up by Brittany Abercrombie, following that set and putting it down.
Look out when you're trying to receive against Foster.
I've never seen a serve do what Natalie Foster's serve does. It almost, she's contacting it high, but then it floats low to high and then drops back down. Almost impossible to move there quick enough to get your platform.
As you said, it's a hybrid. That one almost looked like it has side spin. A lot of the time it has top spin, sometimes it's floating. It's going to be interesting if this goes to a fifth set. Who is in the match? It's going to be an interesting decision for both coaches. Back one, Brown demolishes.
Beautiful decision-making by Shampoo. Running Kaz in front. Kaz got blocked. She's doing a great job. And then just take her right behind. Move that block around. Create those angles. Create those gaps and those seams for yourself by moving that middle blocker around. Off of one foot. Beautifully placed and down the line, which is what she's practicing.
Almost closer to kind of an in-between or mid-ball, you'd almost call it. It was run quickly enough live that I called it a back one. I noticed with Brown, like she's good in the slide. You also happen to see, I think, once or twice a match, she'll just crush a back one.
Absolutely. So as the blocker, you know, if you see her on the slide, you can't break to the pin because she also can crush that back one, like you said. So you have to respect so many different shots from her.
On the right, that team on the right side, when you're facing Orlando, you got Abercrombie over there who can hit the D-ball. You have Brown who can hit multiple shots. It's like pick your poison every single time.
And that's why Coach Amy Pauley says we have to emphasize the passing because we have the routes that can just abuse a defense when they're in system.
Yeah, she said it this morning. One of the first thing really she said to her team was, we need to serve and pass well. And that the rest of the match will cooperate for us if we do. And we have seen at times they have done that, at times they have not, and when they have not, this has gotten complicated.
Absolutely, and Coach Amy Pauley also said that side-out efficiency, passing, and hitting efficiency were an emphasis for them at the beginning of the season. Mid-season, they reflected they were down in side-out efficiency, so they had picked up the passing and picked that up.
Yeah, they had specific statistical goals in those categories that they were shooting for since the start of the season. Flex on him, Kaz Brown.
Kaz Brown is the reigning middle blocker of the year. She did a whole lot of that last year. She's doing a whole lot of this year. Look at the reach. And then look at the celebration. She's the emotional driver for this team and just so disciplined up there at the net.
Brown just wants every ball right now. Schwan puts it away, set point.
What an impressive display from Courtney Schwan and Kaz Brown. You're right. It's almost like a mindset for Kaz Brown. She's hungry. She's taking those balls that are 50-50 and pushing with all of her might, then taking the pass. And Courtney Schwan is bringing the heat. Raynell Jones stayed with Kaz Brown, opening up a one-on-one.
Brown originally was a three-time All-SEC at Kentucky. Raynell Jones extends the set at least by a point.
And we were talking about the point disparity between set one, set two, set three, and now we're getting it again in set four. It's going to be really important for each team to come out fast. Who is going to come out the fastest in the fifth set? And that could be the decider.
The point disparity has gotten larger throughout the night. It's the second straight set that a team has won by 10. We're going to the fifth in Orlando. Here are the numbers through four sets, going to the fifth now in Orlando, and you have two coastal teams, San Diego coming across the country to play Orlando. It's like there's been a lot of high tide and low tide for each team so far, going back and forth throughout this night.
Well said, and it's pretty much one team was on and the other team wasn't playing their best game, and that has been the story of the night. So I would not be surprised whichever team gets off to the quickest start is going to put themselves in the right position, because historically in the first 4 sets, whichever team has been on at the beginning is the team that won that game.
That switch has not been turned the other way in an individual set so far. This has been a front-runners match, but maybe that changes in the 5th. This is an all bets are off moment. Don't know what to think. You know, Orlando is in first place coming in. San Diego in 7th place. This has been a toss-up type of night, though, so far. Anai, that was the other question. Who is going to be out there to start the 5th set? Orlando going with Adora Anai on the outside, and she delivers.
One thing about Adora Anai is that she's very calm under pressure. She's consistent under pressure, and in the 5th set, one could argue that's the most pressure you're going to face.
I guess the answer for Orlando is you go with who was just in there when you won 25-15. Abercrombie. Off the hitter coverage, Schwann tight to the net. Shampoo to Schwann through the block.
Schwann is getting on top of the ball and snapping really well. She's speeding up her approach and then getting on top of it, snapping quick with a fast arm swing. Veronica Stone gets there, is up, but she sneaks it through that open block.
This is a pivotal side out on this point. They go to their bread and butter, and Veronica Stone sends it to the corner.
Veronica Stone is so effective off of 1 foot behind the setter. Really moving the block around, and then Veronica Stone does a good job of dropping that thumb, going wrist away, swinging down her body and down the line.
308 kills for Stone to go with 3 blocks. Out of system, Schwann. Lead at Tabron, covered, and Page races back there to keep it in play. Orlando ahead of the point, but a bad touch off the free ball. Doesn't matter. Schwann terminates.
Shampoo is so fast, and one of the things that you have to have as a setter is if the pass isn't there, you got to be able to get your feet there, or in this case, get your knees there, get underneath it, give your setter, your swinger, a hittable ball. And Courtney Schwann is mixing up her attack really well. A whole lot of tools on display for her.
Schwann with double-figure kills as Donkey aims for the line and misses. The double-double now for Courtney Schwann. Off the hitting error in a set to 15 points. Got to do something. I was thinking they might be calling a timeout. They're actually going to...
San Diego is challenging a block touch.
Challenge the block touch. We've already touched on this, that it serves as a timeout as well. Whether you win the challenge or not. And you see Taiba Hanif Park, she's treating this like a timeout with her team. Orlando's just standing out there, just conferencing in the middle. Did it hit the shoulder? Yes, it did. Hit the top of the arm, so it was a good challenge, a kill for Dalkey.
And then you're rewarded, and you get that challenge back. So, and you get to talk to your team, you stop the momentum, and you get the challenge back.
A lot of good things.
Yep.
Both challenges. So still 2 remaining for each team. And the block against Schwann. So San Diego evens the set. There's a danger zone there. They win the challenge. And it's all of a sudden tied. Abercrombie through the middle.
I don't like saying the word ain't, but if that play ain't broke, don't fix it. Run it again. I love the decision. Brittany Abercrombie with that left hand is a different look for this opposing block. Her crossbody is different than a right arm's crossbody, and she's able to score on that swing.
Yeah, I'd go back to it when they can, if possible. Shampoo was on the floor there, was able to play the ball. Abercrombie reaching from behind the line with the D-ball kill.
And if you're the Valkyries, you're very happy that you get that point when you did, because Shampoo was fixated on that wet floor. She was standing on it. So it's really good that that play ended, so no one tripped, no one got hurt. Brittany Abercrombie, when she is on, is so good at cleaning up broken plays and finishing the ball.
is, as you saw, close to a double-double. They've kept her in check a decent amount, hitting 220. Oh, smash down. Dalkey leads the night, leads all attacking players with 19 kills.
Have yourself a night. Kendra Dalkey, she's attacking the ball really high, and then she's going for that line, which is what Amy Pauley said they're going to try to take away from her, but she's had a lot of success down there.
Hitting 320, actually, that kill got her 220 kills on the night. The response from Brown. Now we're going back and forth finally here in a set. We have a close fifth set, at least to start.
And you said that before this set. You said, maybe this won't be tightly contested, and it is. And what a time to show up for both of these teams. Good decision by Kaz Brown right there.
At least for now. Great effort by Anai. Gotta put this away if you're San Diego, and Tabron does just that. He does it loudly.
Check out the hustle from Adora Anai and Georgia Murphy. This is what you want. You want both players' bodies on the ground, both players going for it, and then that tempo set. Tamaya Tabron just absolutely punishing it, but we are going to have a challenge from Orlando.
Yeah, I think as we were seeing the replay, Zach McGright announced that there is a net touch challenge. And they're showing a replay in the building, and Orlando thinks that they like what they see. The bench was looking up at the Jumbotron and started to celebrate. So I think the question's going to be, did San Diego go, oh no, antenna touch. Yeah, there's an antenna touch.
And Brittany Abercrombie, who's playing right back defense, was very sure of that. She immediately went over to her coach and said, definitely antenna touch. Every point is amplified. Every point means that much more in this fifth set. So that was a huge point for the Valkyries.
Interesting how much of this challenge system the coach has to trust their players to really be right out there. This serve keeps it now within shouting distance for San Diego. Jones, key serve. They're in system, but Brown is sent away.
And there's not really much you can do about that. That ball gets blocked. She's out of bounds, but the ball gets blocked back into her body. There's not really much you can do about that. Now you're just focusing on siding out for getting that play and trying to get ahead by 2.
Jones already has an ace today. She's been an effective server. Healthy block touch against Anai. Lee with the set. Hitter coverage against Tabron on the reload. Tabron dug by Swan. Here's Anai. Cross court with success.
The Valkyries are doing a great job blocking, getting their closing, and then allowing their defense and Courtney Schwann to play around them. And then Adora Anai finishing with that swing. Hard snap. Valkyries up 8-6.
Okay, you see the first 4 set scores. Nothing was very close through the first 4 sets. This is up for grabs in the 5th. Could 7th place San Diego put a stop on the road to first place Orlando's PVF record 9-match winning streak?
And the Valkyries, their backs were up against the wall a little bit in this matchup. They've come out strong in this 5th set. I know for a fact they want to get to 10. The Mojo is on a 2-match losing streak, so they are just as motivated, but for different reasons. And this has been a really interesting match. It's been a funny story to tell almost because of that point disparity, but this one right here is a lot closer, and every point matters, which makes this that much more exciting and pressure-filled.
Well, the Mojo just lost those 2 in a row, both against Grand Rapids. Grand Rapids lost earlier tonight at Atlanta. Omaha, which is a half game behind Orlando in the standings for first place, is locked in a tight one in Indy. Those teams are in the 5th set right now and tied early in the 5th set. Anai is blocked. So depending upon this result and that result, we're waiting to see who will be in first place by the time the night is done, because again, Omaha just a half game back of Orlando.
A lot of good games. If you have TVs, put them both on. A lot at stake here.
Get all your TVs right now. Turn them on to watch the PVF. I love it. Split screen action necessary. 9-7. And it'll be the setter from Thailand in her first year in the PVF, 7th year as a pro. Pornpun Goodpart, who goes by the nickname Shampoo. Pretty easy serve to handle. They go for the back one with Stone, but she didn't love the timing there, and Orlando was waiting for it.
Orlando was all over that, tracking. Abby Hansen did a good job not cheating. Watch her holding her spot, and then it actually hit both of their arms. Adora Anai got it, sent it over to Hansen, and Hansen pushed it over. So very disciplined block from them, and a 3-point lead is really big in a fifth set.
Only playing to 15. It seemed like Stone wanted something slightly different based on her body language there with the set. Tabron hammers it home and keeps San Diego alive.
What makes Tabron's attack so difficult to block is that she's beating the middle blocker there because it's a tempo set. She's so fast. She's got a lightning fast arm swing. And you see Abby Hansen, she's up and she's pressed, but she's pushing those arms over the net just a half a second late.
There's Anai. Did not start tonight, but they're really going to her late. Adora Anai.
We have seen the full depth of both of these teams on display tonight, and it's been masterful coaching by these coaches with their decision-making on when to put in the fresh legs, when to put in the new faces.
Anai, 8 kills, 7 hitting errors, but it's had some key swings late. Dalkey tried her best out of system. A chance for Abercrombie, shoves it into the block, they cover. Dalkey has to manufacture something. Schwan to dig, Anai tips for the donut, Dalkey reads it. Tabron, they were ready for that one. Here's Schwan, tips it. Aggressive swing, nice one by Dalkey. Schwan as well. Courtney Schwan adds perhaps the longest point of the night.
Courtney Schwan, that's her 11th kill. She's taking a ton of swings, and it's not easy because she's taking swings in transition, inside out. She's taking out of system swings, swings off the net. Great up by her. I said it once, I'll say it again. Courtney Schwan is such a solid 6th rotation athlete. Her defense is just as good as her offense, and then look at how fast she transitions off the net, mixes it up so well. Nice flying long rally. I'm almost doing play-by-play here. Good set by Shampoo. And then Courtney Schwan, all of the range, all of the ball control, coming up huge. You said it. It's a double-double for her. And this Orlando Valkyrie team is at their best when they're getting offensive production out of her.
I thought that point was fascinating because both teams were out of system and someone had to try and make something happen. Now you see the score. Indy and Omaha, we just mentioned it, are locked into another 5-set battle from Indianapolis, and the Ignite trailing Omaha now by 2 at home. And Omaha has an opportunity to pull off a reverse sweep.
And to your point, what you said right there with both of the teams in transition trying to just clean up the plays and finish it, Courtney Schwan is really good at that because she sees the court so well and she's consistent. She's not going to go up there and make an error. She knows how to make that ball hit the floor.
That's what this sport becomes. You get into the 5th set, especially a match like this, becomes that battle of attrition. It's not always pretty. You just got to find a way to get it done. Who can you go to, and what swing can they go to when you just need to find the result this late in the match? That's always the question. Stone serves at the stack. Swing from Hansen. They control it. Dalkey, no! He's going to want that one back, and they talked about it coming in. They want to force Dalkey to hit that hard cross.
Great point, and that's exactly what they just did. The block was lined up in that line. They were taking line. Defense looks like it's taking line. Dalkey's going for that 4-to-4 swing. And if you don't contact that 4-to-4 swing, it's a high margin for error.
Scouting report awareness, they know she's in those key moments, she's a little more comfortable hitting line. You take it away from her. She's got to go again, hits line, the block makes contact. Schwann, block touch. And Kamaile Hiapo in the match, by the way, contributing on that point for San Diego, who sides out.
And I like that decision from Dayoung Lee. The height disparity is big. Kaz Brown is up there. She is up. She is pressed. But Lee has the ball control. She has the know-how to know where Kaz Brown's hands are and to swipe it off of them.
Hiapo checks back out for Page to play front row. Abercrombie from the middle. They were ready for it in the back row that time. Venegas uses the hands to set Dalkey. Brown tracks it down. It's going up toward the net and a point for San Diego, back within 2.
And we have got ourselves a game. San Diego coming back in it, but now it is imperative that San Diego does not make unforced errors. You can't go back and miss your serve. You really cannot afford to swing at a set that's too low and swing into the net. You have to be pretty flawless if you're going to make up for this deficit.
I really think a lot of the time this sport is at its best when it's just a little bit unhinged. This has been one of those nights.
Oh, most definitely, with these crazy plays. I mean, you've got Venegas doing star jumps and both teams pancaking left and right, the crazy serves. This fifth set has been unhinged.
As you talk about it beforehand, you look at all the storylines on paper. Oh my God, how about Natalie Foster's serve? Out of the match. Hansen is in there due to the matchup. Oh my gosh, Elise McGee has been the best option lately for San Diego. She lasts one set. You put Lauren Page in. I'm not trying to rag on those players. I'm just saying that it all sounds nice and clean with the storylines beforehand, and then you get into a match, you never know what to expect. You never know who's going to be in there or who's going to be making the key play.
Exactly, and that's why it's so important to have a full team. That's why it's so important to have depth at each position, because with how talented all these players are, there are All-Americans, there are national champions lining the bench. So it's really imperative to have that depth. If you are down, you can mix it up. And then the coaching decisions are really important as well.
Lee with the serve. Abercrombie, Lee extends for that dig, reaching down. They find Lee again, first ball. Excellent set by Venegas. Schwann has to use 2 hands on this one. Dalkey has to round about into that attack. Now it's Abercrombie with a scoring chance. Abercrombie, San Diego would love that defensive play back.
What a rally, both sides. First, let's take a look at this dig. Georgia Murphy laying out, this is exactly what you need out of your libero. A never say die kind of mentality. Put your body on the ground. Good set by Shampoo, reversing that flow to Brittany Abercrombie.
Serve from Abercrombie, match point. Excellent pass on a tough serve by Dalkey, and she is rewarded. The match keeps going.
This 5-10 record for the Mojo is not reflective of the talent that they have on this team. Taking this Valkyries team that's on a 9-match win streak this late in the game and still in it, they have a lot to be proud of.
Second match point. Brown, Venegas controls it. Jones, done by Murphy. Schwann for the match. There's a whistle. Point San Diego. That was a very tentative call on match point. A whistle came in. Eventually, net violation, I think, was the signal from Zach McGright. And this is not a challenge. It's just a timeout by Andy Pauly.
Talk about the suspense of that call. He blew his whistle. We knew that he had a decision, but we didn't know which way it was going to go.
It was almost like a sheepish call. He was shaking his head on the second shot of him right there.
Yeah, let's take a look at it.
But, keep in mind, Orlando didn't challenge, so they must have been, it was clearly the right call. Looking at the replay, good job by our crew back in the studio. Jeff Graham producing, Kevin Schenk, the director, getting that look quickly for us at a key juncture.
Take away that net touch. Georgia Murphy's dig after that. You see how her platform is up? Well, then she's able to get her hands up, take it high hands. That was a really impressive dig. Take away that net call.
Even if it didn't count, it's an impressive.
Yeah, for sure. Good point.
No, I like it. It's a very tough adjustment for a backcourt player to make. But now, San Diego has killed off 2 match points and a chance to send it to deuce. 5 out of the last 6 points have been won by the Mojo. Dalkey leads their team in aces coming in. Just gets that one in play. Here's Abercrombie, dug by Lee. When you need it, Dayon Lee. Nice roll over by Tabron, and Jones sends it to the court. It is deuce in the 5th set.
This is a mindset from the Mojo. They are not letting the ball touch the ground. The digs, the ups. Maya Tabron taking a little bit off of that, so that ball barely cleared over the net. Orlando's on their heels, and just like that, we're going to overtime in the 5th.
6-1 run. Clips the net. Good pass and on the slide. Brown. Lee has options in transition. Tabron hits line. Dug perfectly by Anai. D-ball, Abercrombie. Lee racing for that one. Buck set. Tabron. Schwann. Pretty textbook. Dig to attack. Goes short. Courtney Schwann.
Courtney Schwann in transition. Such good court awareness by her. Coming in strong, coming in aggressive. Noticing that campfire is open. Defensively, both teams, the middle backs for both teams, Adora Anai, Kendra Dalkey were making great reads in that play. Really long rallies we just saw. But Courtney Schwann, with her cool double-double, has risen to the occasion big time offensively.
And now Schwann with the float serve on match point. Tabron, contact there. Schwann was going for the dig. I'm not sure if there would have been a block touch. But another match point staved off.
Maya Tabron is just a rookie, but she is taking these big, brave, aggressive rips with a high set coming from behind her. Really impressive moments in these pressure situations by her.
Remember, it was 14-11 Orlando. That was the 4th match point that San Diego saved. And Anai is rejected.
The energy, the momentum is with the Mojo right now, who made that massive comeback in the 5th. Veronica Stone is so quick laterally. She's getting there, she's closing. And not only is she disciplined, but after that point, the celebration, the energy that she brings, it's a huge advantage to this team.
Match point number 1 for San Diego. Anai set away once again. Stone. And the Mojo come into Orlando and end the 9-match winning streak.
The Mojo, coming off of back-to-back losses to the Rise, took the Orlando Valkyries to the breaking point, came back, won in the 5th. All-around solid team performance by the Mojo, who had a never-say-die kind of mentality. They did a good job at slowing down Brittany Abercrombie and the players that they needed to slow down for Orlando. One of those including Adora Anai, and the stuff by Veronica Stone to finish it. I know that must feel good.
And Veronica Stone, one of the faces of the Pro Volleyball Federation, an all-star this year for San Diego. In a matchup that we talked about, features the middle so prominently. There's a stud all-star middle on each side, and Veronica Stone wound up having the last lap 6 stuff blocks personally in the match for San Diego.
Wow, and then in front of the setter and on the slide, she had a whole lot of success. I will say both teams' setters did a wonderful job at running a balanced offense. Fun time was had by all here in Addition Financial Arena tonight.
Yeah, Dayon Lee had 44 assists, 17 digs in the win. Kendra Dalkey had 20 kills. Maya Tabron 15 off the bench for San Diego. And for our entire fantastic crew and Madison Fitzpatrick, I'm AJ Cannell saying so long from Orlando. It's the Mojo with the upset win at deuce in the 5th.